and welcome back to my channel. We are doing July's book review video. It's really hot today. I'm boiling already sitting here, so I'm going to try and make this a quick one. I know I won't because I talk like hell. So July, how did July go? July was alright. I don't know if it was the last week of July or the second to last week of July. I returned back to work. My main job one, not my part-time job one. I went back to work, and honestly it didn't feel like I'd been gone for 4 months. Didn't feel any different. I'm still, like, I'm happy to be there. Like, it's nice to see my guys again and see all the men, but I'm still like, about my whole job in general. Like, this whole past week, I've been bored out of my mind. It's been super quiet for us, and like, we haven't really had much work to do. Even the supervision has been a bit like, what do we do with ourselves? Because there's just not much going on at the moment. I think we went to work a bit too early, but like I said, I am happy to be able to be with my guys again and see them. However, when I did get to work, I got complimented quite a bit. A few people complimented me saying I looked healthy, that the lockdown sounded good for me, that you can see that I've been working out because I look a bit trimmed. I've been told I look pretty. I've had a lot of compliments. They've clearly like missed me. Like, they don't usually miss me that much. One of them complimented my tan. So yeah, I don't know, it's been nice to go back to work. I think it'd be nicer if I had more work to do though. Also, in the month of July, I've received a lot of requests for paintings. I thought I'd be brave and put it on my like town's chit chat page on Facebook, and I had request after request after request. I honestly thought maybe I'd get 1, possibly 2 requests to do paintings, but I ended up getting like 5 all in a row. So now I've got to paint 2 Spitfires, a flamingo one which I've now done and it's been collected and I absolutely loved it. I've got a horse racing one, an abstract giraffe and an elephant. So I've got a lot of painting to do, but the issue is with this heat at the moment I can't paint because my paint's just drying up, and my desk is directly in the sunlight, so I'm like being cooked alive. But I can't paint at night because I ain't got the right lighting, so it's kind of hard for me to just paint at the moment. But yeah, so July's been an alright month. Book wise, I feel like, well, to be fair, I haven't read loads. I've read 2 kind of small ones to try and make up that I've read loads, because I've read 5 altogether now. But the issue is I read 2 quite thick ones and they took me a while to read. So let's just jump into them. The first one I read is Me Before You. I can remember when I saw this film, I first ever saw it whilst I was on an aeroplane, either coming home from Mexico or Jamaica. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Mexico. It's the first time I saw it, and I was coming home from it, and I was sitting on the airplane and I was trying not to cry. I was like, do not cry, you're in public, Vicky, do not cry. Because, oh my god, the emotions. So I'll just read you the blurb and then I'll just tell you what I think of it. Lou Clark knows lots of things. She knows how many footsteps there are between the bus stop and home. She knows she likes working in the buttered bun tea shop, and she knows she might not love her boyfriend Patrick. What Lou doesn't know is she's about to lose her job, or that knowing what's coming is what keeps her sane. Will Traynor knows his motorcycle accident took away his desire to live. He knows everything feels very small and rather joyless now, and he knows exactly how he's going to put a stop to that. What Will doesn't know is that Lou is about to burst into his world in a riot of colour, and neither of them knows they're going to change for the other for all the time. So, I really enjoyed this book. I gave this a 9 out of 10. I'm very strict when I give books 10 out of 10, but this one was a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. I loved the film, and the film was a really good, they did really well in the film for this, I think. They really did a good job. Sometimes when you adapt a book into a film, they don't do very well, but this one I feel like they did really good. Like, they covered the characters well and everything, and I think they basically kept to the story. There is some things in the story that I find really, like, they could have put in there, but obviously got to keep it a certain length and everything. But overall, I really enjoyed the story. It did make me a bit emotional, and I actually realised there is a second one as well, which is The Girl You Left Behind. Not sure if I'm going to try and buy that and read it, because I kind of feel like how this one has ended is perfect for how I'm ready to move on and leave those characters behind. I really enjoyed it. I really recommend it. It's quite a longer read. I don't even know how many pages it is. It's like 400 and like nearly 500 pages. I think 479 pages roughly. So it's a longer read, so it will take you a bit longer, but it's really good. You've got the romance, but you've also got the characters developing and learning about themselves, and it's nice to see Lou coming out of a shell, and it's nice to see Will getting some happiness before he like ends his life basically. It's really touching and it really does get you thinking as well about like suicide and people that have been in accidents and how their life changes and everything. It really is like an eye opener as well, sort of book as well. But that's enough of me talking about it's just one book. Next one, again, this one is like, yeah, this one I'm going to talk about. The Tattooist of Auschwitz, based on the powerful true story of Leo Sokolov. I don't think I spelled his name right. Can I just say, if you hear banging, I'm really sorry. My people at this house behind me is getting a carpet fitted, which means I must be getting my neighbours soon. But yeah, so this one, The Tattooist. In 1942, I keep wanting to say Lake because I'm reading the last part of his name, Leo Sokolov arrived in Auschwitz. He was given the job of tattooing the prisoners marked for survival, scratching numbers into his fellow victims' arms in indelible ink to create what would become one of the most potent symbols of the Holocaust. Waiting in line to be tattooed, terrified and shaken, was a young girl. For Leo, a dandy, a jack of a lad, a bit of a translator with love at first sight, and he was determined not only to survive himself, but to ensure this woman Gita did too. So it begins one of the most life-affirming, courageous, unforgettable and human stories of the Holocaust, the love story of a tattooist of Auschwitz. And oh my god, read this book. 10 out of 10. I said I'm very careful with giving books 10 out of 10, but this was a 10 out of 10. I could not put this down. It was so interesting to like learn that some of like, I don't know if other prisoners got to have this sort of thing, but he actually got to find love whilst there, and they both actually survived, and they had a kid, and it was just how he managed to get himself to survive. Like, he done so much. He ended up getting the girls from what they called Canada to collect him gems so he could then buy food. But he didn't just give it to himself. He gave he had extra rations, and he gave them out to like his the prisoners with him, and like to the girls. And he would find some people that came to site each day that live locally. They would bring them stuff, and he would give them the gems, and then he would spread it, like he'd get sausage and spread it out across a group of them to make sure they all got something else to eat. And it's so like eye-opening, and how like they describe some of the areas and some of the situations, and it just makes you really think. I have another one like this, I think, as The Librarian of Auschwitz, which I would probably read in August, so this month, but I'm not sure yet, because this one hit hard and it did make me emotional, and I highly recommend it, because like I said, it's a proper eye-opener. And like I said, it's all this bad, but then it ends up as a happy story because they get to be together and they have a kid, and by the sounds of it, after that they lived a very long, happy life, I think. And like their child says a bit at the end, but there they are. There's a little baby boy, and there's pictures of it in the end, and just like, look how happy they look. Like, I can't, like, read it. If you get the chance and you do like to read books, read this book. Okay, the next one is 12 Small Acts to Save Our World. You Can Make a Difference in Support of WWF. I'm going to try and not talk too much about this one because I've got things to read about it. So it's easy to feel like we can't make a difference, but small, easy actions, if taken by enough people, can move mountains to save our wonderful planet. Written in collaboration with leading environmental experts from WWF, this short book provides simple changes we can all make to our everyday lives, from morning to night. These aren't the only things you can do, nor are they things you have to do, but these 12 small basic acts are basic steps anybody can take, and even if one of them sticks, our children will inherit a better world. So this year I'm trying to be all eco-friendly. That was one of my like New Year's resolutions, I think, was to like be more like eco-friendly, eat healthy, be more eco-friendly and charitable. So I saw this book and I was like, right, this looks interesting. I find it really interesting facts. This was written in 2018, so facts might be a little bit incorrect now, but I just wanted to read you some of them and then, yeah, see if I can find them. So the first one is, when you leave appliances such as TVs, microwaves, laptops and phone chargers plugged in and on standby, it's like there's a host of little vampires around your home sucking away, using electricity and adding to your bills without you benefiting at all. Over the space of years, wasted electricity mounts up. So I think it tells you something. So like if you leave, Keeping your game consoles on standby throughout the years, like leaving a light permanently on for almost the whole year, according to the energy saving threats. So if you left your like Xbox or PlayStation on standby, you could use the amount of electricity to do a light bulb. I thought that was amazing. A running tap can waste 6 litres or 10.5 pints of water in a minute. So it basically brushing your teeth and turn the tap off when you're brushing your teeth and then turn it back on again. There's also another one that was about how much paper, like water was used to make paper, which I found interesting. Oh, here, I think it's here. It can take as much as 20 litres of water to produce just one sheet of A4 paper. I said A4, didn't I? A4 paper, and uses toxic chemicals which can pollute water courses, so reducing your paper footprint helps conserve fresh water too. In the UK, we each use an average of 145 kilograms of paper a year, and in the US it's even higher at 215 kilograms. So, yeah, I told people at work about the paper one. I was like, did you know it uses about 20 litres of water to make one sheet of A4 paper? And I'm like, no, that's just bull poopy. And I was like, that's what it says in my book. And then they'll be mean to me about it. Oh, this one was just for me, I think. Where's the other one? I wanted to find one more that I found interesting. Okay, so plastic doesn't decompose naturally or turn back into natural materials. The problems it causes can persist for centuries. Over time, it can break down into smaller pieces, but there's still a problem. These small fragments are joined in the natural world by plastic pieces that were deliberately manufactured to be tiny, so-called microbeads, which are put in face washers or cleaning products and are washed down the drain. And then there are nurdles, little pellets which are used to make larger plastic items. These nurdles can escape overboard from ships or even from industrial facilities on land and be washed into the environment and out to sea. All these tiny plastic pieces are found throughout the seas. In the Arctic, far outside, each litre of sea ice contains as many as 12,000 pieces of microplastic. Some far smaller than the width of a human hair, which have come from things as varied as disintegrating plastics. Yeah, and those microplastics can find their way back into our food chain because the fish can eat the small microorganisms. The tiny microorganisms can eat the microplastics. The fish doesn't eat the organisms, and it goes up the food chain. We eat the fish, and then those bits of plastic, microplastics, come back into our body. So yeah, I think there's one more, but I can't remember what it was. So I don't know. Oh, around 20,000 African elephants are killed every year by poachers. That's an average of 55 a day, or the equivalent of an elephant lost every 26 minutes. So remember, this is 2018, it could be less, it could be more even. There are now estimated to be around 415,000 elephants in Africa, but it's got to the point where more elephants are being poached than are being born, which born. I can't speak now, my mouth is getting really dry. But I really found this book interesting. The facts alone just were interesting, but like tips that they give you is interesting. They're really small things to do. Like I said, it's literally don't leave things on standby. Turn your tap off when you're washing your teeth and then turn it back on to rinse. When you're about to shower, how many people just turn the shower on and go off with thinking, oh yeah, it'll take a while to warm up, but it doesn't. Turn the shower on and get in it. Reuse, reduce, recycle. Reuse your clothes, change them into other things, go to the charity shop, second hand, thrift stores. Don't use a car's mark, walk or bike or go for a run. Use less paper, double side things. Like I'm in the office and usually I use one sheet of paper then I chuck it, but now I'm making sure I double side things. Paper that got printed wrong, instead of just chucking it away, I'm ripping it in half and using a scrap paper for notes and everything. Like there's so much you can do, and I highly recommend this book if you do want to try and become eco-friendly, or if you just want some tips on how to improve your life a bit and to help the environment without doing too much. Like this is a good book and I give it 9 out of 10. We've got 2 left. I'm sorry, I've talked loads and I think it's getting noisier and noisier. It feels like it for me. And I can't speak, I need a drink, but it's behind the camera and I don't want to reach out because I have to edit it. So the next one we've got is 2 famous 5 ones. We've got 5 Go Adventuring Again, which was the second book, I believe. Look, there's a light ahead, that's the thief, come on, we'll soon get him. It's the holidays, and whilst George can't seem to keep himself out of trouble, the others are busy looking for it. When they discover a mysterious clue at the farmhouse, they can't wait to solve it. But then Uncle Quentin's secret papers go missing at Kieran Cottage, and a treasure hunt turns into a hunt for the thief. Can the famous 5 outwit their dangerous enemies and catch their criminals? So basically, it's the Christmas holidays, the kids parents are sick, so they're spending it with their auntie and uncle and their cousin George at Kieran Cottage. The kids want to have an adventure, but they've got to do some studying. They all like their new tutor, but George doesn't like him. She thinks there's something wrong with him. Adventure happens, and then it turns out they catch a thief, basically. I enjoyed this book, not as much as I enjoyed the first Famous Five one. I think this one felt more like a filler kind of book. Like, she wanted to write another story, but she weren't fully sure of what to have to happen. If that makes sense. So I gave this one like a 7 out of 10, but these are a good one. Like, I know these are like for kids, but I really enjoy them. Okay, we're on to the last book, because it's getting noisy and I need a drink. So this one is 5 Run Away Together. We don't want to warn the smugglers that we've discovered their little game. We want to try and catch them. The famous 5 are excited to fill George's boat with food and blankets and spend the week on Kieran Island, swimming and exploring. But when they discover a mysterious trunk has been smuggled onto the island, they realise an even bigger adventure lies ahead. And after they hear a child scream in the middle of the night, they must find out who else is there with them and why. I really enjoyed this one. This one is like a 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10. Basically, George's mum gets sick, so George's mum and father go to the hospital, and the cook is meant to look after him, but the cook is really mean. Like, she hardly ever like feeds them, and like it's really just like mean to them. So they decide to run away to their island. Then, like I said, smugglers, and it turns out actually the cook was the smugglers, and they were kidnapping a little girl who like was like a millionaire's daughter or something, and then the kids rescue it, and you know, the kids always save the day. Like I said, I enjoyed it again. These books, I said, I know these are directed for like, I'd probably say young, like 10-year-olds, maybe young teens, maybe young teenagers. I'd possibly say these books are aimed at. But I really like them. They're good, they're easy to pick up, and they have a good little story. Like, it gets your mind thinking, and it's just interesting to see, because like, what, this one was written in, it was first published in 1944. So I like to see like how they like write their characters and write their stories, like what isn't modernized, like what was modern for them and isn't modern for us. You know what I mean? I like to like read things that were like written quite a while ago. But yeah, there you go, that's my books. I'm sorry that I spoke loads, and I'm sorry that I couldn't pronounce words very well. I feel like I've got a super dry mouth right now. I'm really dehydrated at the moment. Anyone else, like every morning I'm waking up really dehydrated, and it takes me ages, and I mean ages, to like get back to having like a moist mouth. Ugh. And also I'm sorry for those guys for being noisy. People just don't understand that I want to make videos. Anyway, I'm going to leave you all now. If there is a book that you want me to read, let me know in the comments below, because I'm getting low on books. I have like probably enough to last me 2 more months, and then I need to buy some more books. So if there's a book you want me to read, let me know in the comments below. And I think that's everything I want to say. I hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day. I hope you're in smiles. That's the most important thing. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!